hallmark for one who thinks critically is the ability to reason, assess, question, investigate, formulate, calculate, evaluate, and judge to make informed decisions and successfully solve problems for a desired outcome. You have power that controls what happens next, your future, in your personal life, in your professional life. It is the power to make a decision. Do you get up or do you stay in bed? Do you make your bed or leave it messy? Do you work or do you idle? Do you stay or do you go? Small or large, decisions control what happens next. We have been exploring critical thinking, and today we focus on the decision-making process. A simple roadmap to guide your thinking. Saturday morning coaching begins now. Welcome to Saturday morning coaching. Lots of people out there want to entertain you. Coach Davis simply wants to help you be successful. And your success comes from your ability to make good decisions. And that means right now with the very next thing you do. Decision making is a process, meaning it is definable, repeatable, and predictable. And it can be learned and studied. The purpose of the decision-making process is to reach a conclusion, a resolution, or a judgment. We do that in a way that uses good critical thinking skills, which are reason, assessment, questioning, investigating, formulating, calculating, evaluating, and judging. And we take those critical thinking skills and we add to them a little emotional and social intelligence. And we add it all up so that desired results, a decision, are achieved with the least negative fallout. This decision-making process is designed to deliver you the products of well-reasoned direction, a decision, data and rationale, and feedback for learning and improving. The way you do it, the how, is defined by this simple word, dive. That means to define, investigate, verify, and ensure. Define, get clear on what the problem is. Investigate, get data. Verify, check yourself, get a couple other sources, and then ensure, test your decisions out and make sure they're going to take you in the direction that is best for you. There are some key beliefs driving how this process works. The first one is data and insight gathered from a wide variety of sources yields better insight. In other words, teaming is important. This means as you start to approach a big decision in your life, talk to other people. People who are older than you. People who have walked a different path from you. Don't just ask the people in your immediate circle because they tend to have the same experiences and think similar to you. If you want to make the best decision, gather as much insight as you can from as wide a source of people as possible. Better insight, better decisions. Self-awareness is an important element in making decisions. The very way you process information influences your outcomes. So this is why the idea of emotional intelligence makes sense. Are you aware of yourself? And decisions can be conscious or unconscious, but they all have consequences. You know, I know some people who don't make decisions on their own. They wait for the environment, the circumstances in their lives to unfold in a way that they have no choice left but the one that's in front of them. In other words, a decision has been made for them because they choose not to step up and direct their own future. That way, I guess they always feel they have a sense of, not my fault if life doesn't go the way I had hoped it would. I take no accountability for my decisions because I had no choice. Yeah, that's such a poor way to go about living life. Our job is to make decisions and then be accountable for the consequences of those decisions. Well, let me describe for you the sequence of events to make good decisions, right? To give you well-reasoned direction. It starts with a question, a trend, a situation, or surprise that appears in front of you. Boom, it arrived. Now you got to do something with it. So the first step is to survey the situation and ask yourself, what do I have? What's available for me to even begin thinking about the situation that just appeared or the question, right? So it's starting with taking stock of what you've got. And then I want you to have an awareness of your desires. What do you want? So, what do I have? What do I want? What do you want? This is what's really tough for a lot of people because they don't want to, now they may feel selfish if they told you what they want. It may have consequences that they aren't willing to accept. They don't want other people giving them grief for what they want. Family issues, I don't know. But there's a lot of people who just won't be honest about what they want. And now you have to become clear in your own mind. Is my awareness of self and situation sufficient? That means, have you been thinking about yourself? Have you looked at yourself? Have you looked in the mirror? Are you aware of what's going on? And do you have enough insight to now make a decision? Then you develop an approach using a toolbox of models. There are a lot of different thinking models out there. There's the simple T ledger, which is pros and cons. There's a fishbone diagram, which helps you think completely. There are tools that can help you do that, but you develop an approach. Then you gather some data and insight as required by the approach, and you identify the implications of those paths that are available to you. Now ask yourself this question. Have I been thorough enough for a good decision? Do I understand the risk or the certainties? How much margin for error am I willing to accept? If you have no room for error, no tolerance for error, then you're going to have to get a lot more data and information to make that decision as perfect as possible. Once you feel you've thoroughly examined risk versus certainty, then you make a decision. I go left, I go right. I stay in my job, I leave my job. I get married, I don't get married. Then you step back after a while, and you assess the decision you made. Because this is where learning comes in. Did you get the desired results? Did you achieve what you wanted out of this situation? Was there negative fallout? Did you create a positive perception of yourself? Did other people see you make a good decision? Then you file that away, and you're ready and waiting for the next situation to come along, and you step up to make another decision. So I ask you, when it comes to decisions, are you competent at making decisions, or are you a poser? Do you pretend you're good? Do you have critical thinking skills? The social and emotional intelligence? What about a little political savvy? Now, all of those things, again, the way the tools for making a good decision, the hallmark of a good decision, is the ability to reason, assess, question, investigate, formulate, calculate, evaluate, and judge so that you're making an informed decision and successfully solve the problem for a desired outcome. All right, everyone, these are our days. I'm Coach Davis.